Welcome to my Pecha Kucha. I'm Devin Fallhaber, and this is my final project for LDT 550. Now to begin, Pecha Kucha means chit-chat in Japanese, and I hope that this video will be just a very casual chat between me and you, the viewer. Now, as I began this course, I had to choose 4 different tech modules. I chose Photoshop, HTML, video editing, and the Flip Classroom project. And I did this because I felt like these were skills that I had been lacking in one way or another throughout my career and personal life. I was eager to jump into these, and I really tried to bring a lot of myself into the proceedings. Now, to begin with the Photoshop exercise, I did the Kandinsky Bauhaus sort of activity here where you have to break down the different colors and try to balance them out. This was a really great way to not only learn Photoshop, but also learn some of the basic principles of visual design. I don't know if I quite got it all the way, but it was a great place to begin and set me up to actually doing something more complex like making a collage. I really enjoyed that I could actually make these projects about sort of my personal life, and I made this collage as a tribute to my fiancée, Nicole, and it was really wonderful to be able to have a finished product that I could show someone that wasn't just learning design-based. I have a blog I haven't used in a long time called The Concrete Rainbow, and I figured what better kind of way to utilize the logo part of this project than make a logo for my actual blog. This was something I thought turned out really, really well, and I actually surprised myself with. Gave me a lot of confidence. What didn't give me confidence, though, was actually trying to figure out Photoshop. It's a very complex piece of software, and to me, needlessly complex. I struggled and really tried to figure it out for quite some time, but I was able to figure out what I needed to, and I walked away with a good understanding of it. Now, moving into HTML, this was probably the most challenging tech module that I had. Even something as simple as this intro exercise where I played with fonts and styles, a lot more going on behind the scenes HTML-wise than I ever believed, which, was great except for, well, I hit a brick wall pretty early on this project. There were some parts of the project that were just really, really difficult, especially when you had to also learn CSS and jQuery. Luckily, I used some outside resources that really saved my bacon, as well as looking at website code and seeing how other websites did it and then copying that and playing around with it. Now, through w3schools.com, they have an interactive in-browser HTML editor where you can put your code in and it will light up if it doesn't work. It'll turn dark if it doesn't work. It'll light up if it does, and so on. So you're really able to experiment and see how each individual piece of code works. That allowed me to put together this early 90s era website, which I knew I wasn't going to be able to make this really look pretty in the time that I had, so instead I wanted to make this as a sort of an homage to what the period of the internet that I really, really loved and hold near and dear to my heart. Another great thing was I was able to, again, incorporate parts of my own life into this project, such as the trip to Oregon that Nicole and I went on in 2019. That's where I proposed to her, and was able to put some photos in and some other things about my travels when I was a student in college as well. Now, moving on to the video editing project, this I had the most fun with. It allowed me to really flex my creativity here, and I decided to pick a topic that was really interesting and it affects almost all of us and seems almost science fiction in a way. It's known as the Mandela effect. Now, the Mandela effect is when you believe in your memories that with the utmost certainty that you are right about something. So in the case of this children's book series, most people think of it as the Berenstain Bears, when in reality, the Berenstain Bears, the title on the right, is actually correct. So why do we remember it incorrectly? That was the topic of my video. Now, whenever I do a project and I begin a project, I usually don't like to do anything really formally through maybe like Google Docs or make a table. I like to do good old-fashioned pen and paper. This is where I came up with a very basic storyboard where the special effects would go, just the general outline all lived here. From there, I moved on to Filmora, which was a really, really wonderful piece of software. where I was able to edit everything related to this video. You can see here, this is where I put my different images, video clips, everything lived here. Really simple to use, really happy with how it turned out. And if you want to see how this video turned out for yourself, I've embedded this video right here in the presentation, and I'll also share the link on my actual exercise page on my own website for LDT 550. It was really fun. I think my only regret is sort of trying to grapple with the CG, but overall, a great outcome. My final presentation, part of my presentation here, is the flipped classroom module. This was something where I struggled at first with it because I've really never taught before, so kind of coming up with my own lesson plan and in-classroom activities is something I'm not used to. What I decided to focus on was a college-level intermediate fiction writing class. Using EduCreations, I went in and actually came up with a couple different activities that students would do both during the flipped classroom period as well as some pre-class activities. This software was a little finicky, but I managed to figure out how to use it and was able to then go and actually make a couple different activities here that you can click on and see for yourself. Students are asked to create their own fictional character and fictional city in which that character lives. Then all the students will get together and somehow collaboratively work on a writing project together using these characters and these city ideas. Now, this is just the beginning of my road to learning and mastering these technologies, but I feel like at the end of this course I have at least a solid foundation to build upon. I really enjoyed these projects. As difficult as they were very fruitful. And thank you so much for watching this video.